Hey, this is Rob Anspach, and welcome to another edition of EHeroes. And today we're bringing Paul Douglas back. And if some of you remember, we had Paul on episode 10, and we talked about SSL encryption and Facebook pixels. And today we're going to talk about lead gen using Facebook, and we're going to talk about a product called Klaviyo. So welcome back, Paul.
Hey, thanks, Rob. And it's Klaviyo, not Klaviyo. It's an easy mistake to make. But when you do the initial training, believe it or not, that question is on the initial training. How do you pronounce Klaviyo? And they've got a lot of phonetic spellings, and if you pick the wrong one, you got to redo the quiz again.
Really?
Well, it's a high passing mark to get it, right? So if you mess that up in another question, you got to redo it. It's kind of a gimme if you do it right.
So it
is an email marketing tool that I was first exposed to almost 3 years ago, and recently went back to with renewed interest, simply because I'm finding that a lot of the tools that I was using lacked a certain amount of functionality for what I wanted to do, and that was to tie in lead generation campaigns on Facebook with an autoresponder service so that when the leads come in, we can capture that name, email address, phone number, and put it into a follow-up system so that we can convert that lead. Because what I find a lot of people doing right now, and I'm sure you've had people come to you and say this, and says, I need more leads, I need more leads, I need more leads. And sometimes that's the very worst thing a company can do, is to give themselves more leads. Because if they have a system in place that doesn't work and broken, well, it's going to be exacerbated by having more leads going into that system. If they're selling a product or service unprofitably, they're going to lose more money faster by having more leads than having more people coming in. That's a different topic for a different podcast. But needless to say, with a lot of the clients that I've worked with, one of the first things we actually have to do is, before we start generating leads, is to actually take a look at the systems they have in place, the profitability of the product or service they want to generate leads for, and ensure that they have actual people in place to follow up with and work with these leads. Because any lead that is brand new and fresh is a good lead. Any lead that is 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks old, you might as well go pull names out of a phone book for all the good they're going to do you. And I say that because we had a client back in January that said, hey, we need some leads, we need some leads. I set up a lead gen campaign for him on Facebook. It was one of the rare times that I hit a home run on the first campaign. Usually I got to do a little bit of tweaking and testing, but we just got everything zeroed in perfectly with the right audience, the right headline, the right offer, and in 3 weeks we generated 70, I believe it was 123 leads in total on 2 campaigns.
Wow.
And got an email from this particular client saying, please stop. We don't have the people in place to work them. And so I did. And of course, by the time they did have people to work them, these leads had basically gone through their useful life experience. And that's really why I went and started searching for a tool like Klaviyo. Because we had this campaign hooked up to MailChimp, which, as you know, Rob, I've been using and promoting for years, based on the strength that MailChimp has an introductory policy where you can use MailChimp absolutely free until you have a list of 2,500 names, or you send out more than 12,000 emails to your list in a month. Then they want you to pay them some money.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you and I have both been, I guess for lack of better words, focused on our clients' budget for years and looking for ways to help them build their business with the minimal investment, which, as I'm learning more and more, discovering that minimizing a budget is not necessarily the best way to serve our clients, because it's like anything else. If you invest in, if you have a magic slot machine, I'm going to quote Joe Polish here. If you have a magic slot machine where every time you pump in $1, it spits out 100, how many $1 bills are you going to put into that slot machine? And so what I've discovered is, and when we look at SEO, and I mean, you and I wrote the book on search engine optimization, but I am just really moving away from wanting to optimize websites now to the point that we proposed in our book, for a number of different reasons. One is just the time for it to become effective. It can sometimes take, as little as overnight. And sometimes it can take 30 days, 60, 90, 120 days, depending on how competitive that market that you're trying to optimize for is. And if you take all the time that you invest trying to optimize a website and attach a cost to that time, and if you're hiring someone like you and I to do that, there's a fee attached to that cost for us to optimize your website. But there's also a hidden cost, and that is the lost opportunity in that 30, 60, 90, 120, 180 days for that to start working. Whereas I can put out a lead gen campaign on Facebook, and for $5 a lead or less, I can pop in leads into your system. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do SEO. I'm thinking, what I'm suggesting is you should be search friendly so people can find you on the search engines. Absolutely. You want people, traffic from Google is some of the best traffic you can get. But when you look at, the marketplace and how competitive your marketplace is, and some of the markets I've done battle in is the car market. And I can't think of an industry more competitive than car sales, except maybe porn. You want to talk about competitive natures, or you want to learn how to make it in digital marketing, look at what the porn companies do, because these guys invented digital marketing. And everything that's cutting edge basically comes out of the porn industry. At least that's the excuse I use with my wife now. But with a typical website, here's my mascot. With a typical website in the car business, it would take me, up to 6 months just to crack that first page.
Yeah.
And, I'm charging a monthly retainer. And if the car business or the owner is patient enough to pay me over those 6 months to finally crack that front page, they've invested an awful lot of money before they get that first lead in. Mm-hmm. Okay. And yes, you can say that after that, you've got, an infinite number of leads coming in. And yes, we are that good. We've got sites we optimized in 2012 that still rank. And so the ROI becomes unlimited, but that first lead has a huge cost attached to it.
Right. With Google putting a lot more restrictions on SEO and rules, and what we need to do as optimizers and kind of follow their game plan, sometimes it does take a little longer than we had hoped.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Wild West days that we had where we can take a video and syndicate it out to 20 different video sharing sites and rank that keyword with the same video on the top 20 positions on Google are gone. Yeah. You're not going to do that anymore. It's great bragging rights, but what have you done recently? And this is something that we were able to do 7 years ago that doesn't exist now. Yeah. I'm still a big believer in video, but you're just not going to get that same video on different channels ranking one after another on a result page like you used to.
And with Google taking away Google Plus, which really helped rank those links very quickly, people were scrambling. Hey, what's going on? What do we do now?
Oh yeah, I remember this is back 8 years ago. This is a very short-lived thing, but you would see on the search engine results plus this. Yeah. And it was a very quick way to rank something. Well, they took that away very quickly. Yeah. About a week after I put a video up about plus this. Anyway, When it comes to Facebook ads, though, one of the things that I really like about, well, there's two things I really like about Facebook. One is their targeting. Yes, they've gotten to a lot of issues as far as privacy because of all the data they hold on every single one of us. But their targeting is very, very effective. You can target your specific niche. And there's two things I really love about Facebook targeting. One is I can take a client's customer list and I can upload that as an audience in Facebook. And if that particular customer used their phone number or the email address attached to them to create their Facebook account, I can build that audience. And as long as you've got 30 names in an audience, you can create a custom audience in Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of our clients, the most effective audience that we build is someone's customer list, because they've already know, like, and trust you, and they do business with you. They give you money. The second most effective audience I work with in Facebook is a lookalike audience based on that customer list. So the lookalike audience is someone just demographically, just like the people that already know, like, trust, and send me money, but they haven't heard about me yet. And I find that those campaigns that we create for our clients are always the most affordable, the most effective. And what I mean by most affordable is we have a lower cost per lead, and we get more leads in the campaign than we do if we were to try to target an audience, even an audience of website visitors. I find that customer lookalike audiences are the best audience that we can work with. So the takeaway here is, if you're setting up a Facebook campaign, upload your customer list as an audience and then build a lookalike audience from that. You'll find that'll be the most effective audience you can target your ads to, besides people that already know, like, and trust you. The second thing is, Facebook campaigns are great if you want to promote a post, if you want to drive traffic to a website, if you want to be, have a billboard ad, for lack of better words. And Rob, you and I cut our teeth on direct response marketing. You and I are not a fan of the branding style marketing, or name recognition marketing, because it's expensive and it takes a long time to work. And forget about this, 20 views things. I mean, typically, we've been taught by our original coach, Joe Polish, that if an ad doesn't work the first time, it's not going to magically work the 20th time. Change your ad, or change up your offer. So I am a huge fan of the Facebook lead gen ad. And when you go into Facebook, you can actually create a lead gen campaign where people fill out a form to access what it is you're giving them. And you can create, they have a custom form or the standard form. You've got the name, you've got their email address, their phone number, but you can put in custom fields as well and get whatever information you want. The great thing is this information is going to be accurate, because the name, the email address, the phone number is auto-filled by Facebook based on the information Facebook has on that visitor. So it's they're using the email address, if nothing else, to access their Facebook account. And if they set up the Facebook account using their mobile phone number, that phone number is still good.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have found when doing lead gen ads on Facebook is that you get 3 different possible results from each person that responds to that ad. They'll fill out a form. Hey, that's great. You've got yourself a lead. They may actually go to your Facebook page, engage, and ask you for more information on that ad post.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can create a bot to, whether you use ManyChat or Mobile Monkey or Inboxer or a number of other bot apps that are out there, to now engage with that particular prospect and move them further down into your funnel. If you look at the customer journey that we talk about now. The Facebook ad is the awareness campaign, making people aware of what you offer or that you exist, and entice them with an offer of some type to take action of some type where you can begin engaging with them. So the bot will allow you to engage with them.
Mm-hmm.
The form is basically your next third step, which is where they subscribe, so that you can try to convert them. But in the whole time that you're doing this, you still want to continue engaging. And that is, beyond the bot, that's where Klaviyo comes in. And this is the reason I really like Klaviyo, because Klaviyo has a one-click integration with your Facebook ad account, and particularly your lead gen account. And this is the reason I moved away from MailChimp after using it for the last 10 years, and actually using and promoting and becoming a master partner with Klaviyo, simply because I can click a button, pick a page, pick an ad account, and connect the two. So when someone fills out that form on the Facebook lead gen ad and any custom fields, it automatically gets fired into my Klaviyo list, where we can continue to engage and drip on these particular prospects. So if you think about how to best use this particular, I guess for lack of better words, marketing team between Facebook lead gen ads, Klaviyo, and your messenger bots,
Mm-hmm.
what I would suggest people do is and set up is, create your audience with Facebook. Create preferably of people that already give you money. If you haven't got a list yet of customers, then sit down and figure out who is your ideal customer, and create an audience based around who you want to work with. Upload, target that audience. If you have a customer list, target a lookalike audience of your customers. Come up with a unique offer. Promote that offer to that list or to that audience. Tie in, a messenger bot to that campaign, so that when people come to your Facebook page from that ad and engage with that Facebook page, they can, move further down your funnel. But at the same time, people will fill out that form. And the third thing that I see people doing is it still generates traffic to your website. So you want to make sure that you have a very effective landing page for your offer, including a form for that particular list in Klaviyo on that page for people to fill out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason I love Facebook lead gen ads, because again, you're going to get people filling out forms. These would be your hot leads. You got people that will engage with that particular post on Facebook, giving you a second chance to work with them. And third, you're going to have people actually going to your website and giving you traffic to your site. And so there's nothing I have seen yet outside of Facebook lead gen ads that's going to give you leads, it's going to give you social engagement, and it's going to give you traffic to your website, all from one ad campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And then tie it in with a messenger bot, so that you can engage people and move them further down the funnel. This is where you can give them some additional information. Again, going back to the customer journey, the engagement is where you want to provide people with the best stuff that you have to offer, whether it be a best of series of your content that you've created. You may want to present people with a small offer. This is more on the conversion side of things after they subscribe, so that they can get a quick win and get excited, so that you can move them to your core offer. Again, I'm jumping a little bit all over the place here. So just to kind of bring it all back, a Facebook lead gen ad is going to give you one of three different results, sometimes all three. It's going to allow you to engage people on Facebook, and you can automate that when you create a bot. And then at the same time, it will put them into a list in Klaviyo. And the other thing I really like about this is that Klaviyo will actually update somebody automatically for you. So as far as building that, putting that list in as a custom audience on Facebook. So the two work very, very well and synergistically together. Again, kind of jumping around. But Klaviyo has a few other things because it was designed for e-commerce that a lot of email marketing tools I've used in the past does not have. So you and I have had many discussions, Rob, where I would tell people that they really need to have some type of e-commerce platform on their website. They need to sell something on their website. And we've developed a number of different e-commerce sites for, your clients and mine over the last year where they can actually start selling products on their site. Because let's face it, putting up a pretty brochure on the end of a dead end road is not going to give your business a whole lot of benefit. Outside of bragging rights, yes, I have a website. If it's not creating leads, if it's not creating customers, if it's not generating revenue, then what's the point in investing in it? And Klaviyo was built around the e-commerce model. And by that, they will actually track your visitors, what pages they go to. And again, there's a lot of tools that do that. But when set up properly, if you send somebody back to your website who's on your list and they visit a certain page and then leave, you can actually do a page abandonment campaign using email, using Klaviyo. If someone goes through the purchase process and abandons the cart, and numbers that I've been researching recently is that 80% of the people that start a purchase on a website will abandon that cart. So you know that 1 in 5 people that actually see your offer might actually go through and buy it. The cart abandonment gives you a second chance to go back and approach these people and say, hey, did you forget something? We've got your cart, but we're going to wipe it out in 3 days so that we can make room on our servers. Here's your chance to come back and get it. And again, going with the industry numbers is that you can get about 15 to 20% of those abandoned carts to come back and buy. So just by having the ability to track who's come to your site, who's abandoned a cart, and sending out a couple simple emails. And by the way, Klaviyo actually has that sequence pre-built for you. All you got to do is change a few things, activate it, it's live, it's ready to go. But when you look at 15 to 20% of 80%, that's another 16% increase in sales just by sending out a couple emails.
So, and I know that over the last dozen years, people that were using products like Infusionsoft or Entreport were paying huge amounts of money every month to get this service done. And Klaviyo does a lot of this stuff that these services don't even offer yet.
Exactly. And actually what I find really impressive is that it will actually cost a lot less money to incorporate into your website and your business than a lot of these other bigger names. I'm working with a realtor right now who for the last 3 years was paying $300 US a month. Now this is in Canada, so 300 US is like $1 million in Canadian dollars. Well, not quite. But it's about 375 Canadian. And he's been paying that every single month, month after month after month for 3 years, and he never did anything with it. He hired somebody to upload a list of his contacts. That list somehow got deleted in November of 2017. And it was April of 2019, this year, when I took over everything for him as far as the digital marketing. Managed to get the list recovered. It was 3,500 names. So he was paying for, the Infusionsoft or now Keep product for a list of up to 5,000 people, which is $299 a month. Never worked it. Did not have an active list for almost 18 months. And when we got the list restored, it was basically names and physical addresses, no emails, no phone numbers, which means whoever uploaded his list did so in a way that he couldn't benefit from the investment. So we're now talking close to over a 3-year period now at almost 400 a month. I'm going to use simple math because I like it. That's $5,000 a year that he's paying for a tool that he didn't use. That's $15,000 he flushed down the toilet, simply because he had a product that was not set up properly, was not managed properly. And, I guess he read the numbers and said, I've got to do something. And that's why he called me. And the first thing I said is, look, you're paying $300 a month for this, without even knowing that his list that he had on Infusionsoft was worthless. And again, this isn't anything against Infusionsoft, but or Keep. It was the person who uploaded the list that screwed this up. I compared the numbers. I says, you would be paying $200 a month for the same number of contacts on Klaviyo that you're paying $300 a month for on Infusionsoft. And although it doesn't have as many bells and whistles that Infusionsoft has, 90% of the people don't use all these bells and whistles that Infusionsoft has.
Mm-hmm.
And, Infusionsoft is great in that everything is all integrated. You don't have to go out and integrate everything else into Infusionsoft because Infusionsoft is it. And that's what makes it that difficult and confusing to work with, because it is all inclusive. And with Klaviyo, their integrations are simple, quick, and easy. We ran through the list the other day. It integrates with just about every shopping cart, whether you use Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, OS Commerce. They all integrate with Klaviyo. They integrate with Stripe, so when someone pays you, you can actually capture that information. It integrates beautifully with WordPress. It's a simple API when you have to integrate with something else, and they provide you with the code. So if you've got a custom website, you can insert the code on the pages, and everything will tie in perfectly for your website to integrate with Klaviyo. So the simple, easy to use interface, the pre-made campaigns, which is in there to help you get things going. They have a huge library of campaigns already pre-built, ready to go. The support is excellent. And I like the security factor. I mean, yes, it's a bit of a pain in the butt, as I tried to show you the other day and walk you through a few accounts that we've set up. We have to actually go in two-factor authentication now. But your list is one of your biggest assets in your business, and I'm really happy that they're taking steps to protect your list. Because if someone comes in and wipes it out, kind of like what happened with my realtor client who had his list of 3,500 names wiped out, unbeknownst to him, for almost 18 months. And kudos to Infusionsoft for being able to recover that. And yes, Infusionsoft, in my opinion, is still an 800-pound gorilla. And if you have the time or the expertise or know an expert in Infusionsoft, it'd probably be a good choice for your business. But if you need something for email marketing now that's going to track and help you increase your sales, and something that integrates easily into a campaign, then I'm definitely going to recommend Klaviyo. And Rob, I'd like to wrap this up with a campaign that we're setting up for my chiropractor client.
Okay.
It's a win-back campaign that we're setting up for him of patients that he hasn't seen in over 12 months. So we've got his list of inactive patients. There are only about 60 people. Okay, but actually, sorry, it's about 82 people. And so I've uploaded that list into Facebook as an inactive client campaign, or audience, I should say. I've created the exact same name for that list in Klaviyo. And then I've also set up this list with people in the Thanks.io postcard marketing tool that you and I've stumbled across a few weeks ago. Or you stumbled across it and then you sent it to me, and I said, this is a no-brainer. I mean, a postage stamp here in Canada is $1.05.
Mm-hmm.
And, if I were to go to Staples, which is our local office supply superstore, and buy the Avery postcards, I'm going to spend $35 for 200 postcards, 50 sheets of 4. I know I'm going to spend $10 or 2.5 cents a postcard for each one to print it out on my printer. Then I've got to hand address and live stamp everything. So there's going to be a time cost to that. Plus, that $1.05 for the live stamp. Thanks.io will print and deliver or mail my postcards to any address I want in Canada for $1.10 US. 99 cents US if I, subscribe to their monthly plan, but that only makes sense if you send out more than 500 postcards in a month.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending out a I want you back postcard using Thanks.io. On the day we mail out that postcard, we're going to be setting up a win back ad campaign on Facebook so that we start hitting people that are on Facebook with ads on that particular audience. They're going to see, ads for this particular chiropractor's clinic. We're going to be sending emails to them through Klaviyo. And on the day that we expect the postcard to arrive, we're going to send them an email that says, hey, have you read, did you get the postcard in the mail today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're doing, again, we're not just using a single tactic. We've created a win-back system where we're using direct mail, we're using Facebook advertising, and we're using email marketing to create multiple touches on this list of 82 people to bring them back in to the clinic to get another adjustment. And, the shameless bribe I think we're going to be using is to get a free copy of the book that we published with this particular chiropractor a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We moved it up to #1 bestseller using the same strategy you and I did to create #1 best-selling book ourselves 4 years ago, which, by the way, I think we should have to redo that and come up with a new book.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, we're going to be using that as the shameless bribe. The big challenge that this particular client and I have is that the Manitoba Chiropractic Association came down with a huge compliance directive as far as marketing goes for chiropractors in Manitoba. And as you probably heard me say more than once in the past, Rob, nothing neuters marketing better than compliance departments.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what happened here. So this is the reason that we're now going to use a win-back campaign to bring people that already know, like, and trust this particular chiropractor, but for some reason have stopped seeing him in the last year, and to bring them back to his clinic because, again, for him, each visit is worth about $50. And so it's not going to take that long with this particular campaign if we bring back 2, we break even. If we bring back more, and that's on just the first visit. If they keep continuing coming back, then he's going to make the profit on the back end. But he's making no profit now on the inactive patients. And if he can bring, 5, 10, 15, even 20 back because we have the multiple touches, then I'm going to, declare this particular campaign a success. But the point I'm trying to make with this is that when you're out running a marketing campaign, you don't want to just focus on tactics. You want it all to work together synergistically so that it all builds on one another.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're creating the awareness with the Facebook ads, you're creating communication with the emails, and then you're hitting them with a whole new touch point with the postcard. again, we're not focusing on tactics, but on creating a system for your marketing. Because when you have the system in place, even if one tactic or strategy fails, you have others that are still in place working towards that goal of bringing customers into your business. And that's where I see most businesses failing with their marketing. This is where I see most agencies failing their clients, is they're all focused on tactic-based marketing rather than system-based marketing. Mm-hmm. And because our focus now with our agency, and as I know is you focus with yours, is that we want to create a system for our clients where everything works synergistically. We're not just focusing on a single tactic because, as we know with, say, SEO, if Google changes an algorithm, we've got to go back and redo that tactic. Whereas a system comes in place, if Google changes an algorithm, we still have other parts of that machine still working, generating clients for our customers. Mm-hmm. So that in a nutshell, if you want to call that a nutshell, it's a big nutshell, is why I recommend Facebook lead gen ads, Klaviyo, thanks.io, and Mobile Monkey for chatbots.
And for those that want to have a Klaviyo account set up, how do they get a hold of you?
The simplest, easiest way is because I'm rebuilding my website right now, and it's a classic case of the cobbler's kids. I've got really ratty shoes here. So send me an email, paul@titanmarketingsolutions.com. We can get you set up very quickly and get you up and running and optimized, and manage your Facebook campaign and even put together some chatbots on your Facebook page to kick up the engagement with your visitors.
Awesome. So there you go. This is why we continue to have Paul back. He's an e-hero, and I want you guys to, if you haven't, go back to watch Paul's episode. I think it was episode number 10. Learn more about SSL, learn more about lead gen, learn more about all kinds of great stuff that we talked about. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on future episodes, and thank you, Paul.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rob. I had a lot of fun sharing this.
See ya.
Take care.